Oh dear God. Hello everybody. This is Chris, otherwise known as Music City Driver. I am in East Nashville. Just filled up my gas tank. Let me turn down this air conditioning for a bit here. It is 4:06 a.m. I did not drive the past couple of weeks, and I've been really. I've just been kind of down in the dumps, honestly. Um, my car has been giving me a lot of trouble. I've still got to get a wheel bearing fixed. Cannot seem to get it fixed right now. The biggest problem is I don't really have a. Let me turn that light on. The biggest problem is I don't really have an adequate area on which to work on it, or the tools that I need, really. Um, I had hoped to have a garage at this point, um, but I don't. Luckily, I do have a friend's garage, but it's really hard to do a wheel bearing with a jack and a jack stand. Um, my father has a hydraulic lift in his garage, but he lives about 3 hours away. I also don't have access to a hydraulic press, which my dad does have as well. Otherwise, I have to buy this toolkit that I saw. It's a little bit cheaper on Amazon, but if I want to wait for the shipping, but otherwise, I can get it at Harbor Freight for like $100. But I'm nervous about it. I replaced a CV axle on my left side, and I am not a mechanic by training by any means. Um, so it's not really probably, it may not be in my best interest for me to do the repairs just because I do not have the experience that my father has, um, or a mechanic does. But the thing is, mechanics are going to charge you an arm and a leg for this wheel bearing. I have the part on hand. It's like a $40 wheel bearing. I just got to get it, take the steering knuckle off, um, press the old bearing out, and take the hub out, which usually the inner race of the bearing gets stuck on the hub shaft, and you have to like basically get it off of there, and then you press it all back together. That's easier said than done. To get the steering knuckle off, you have to take off the axle nut, which requires a lot of force, and I've actually ended up using a cheater bar on that, which makes a big long jack handle that basically gives you extra leverage. Um, that's the easiest thing to do for that. Once you get that off, you usually have to end up replacing the axle nut because it's usually corroded like hell. That's why I usually just buy the entire CV axle. But in the meantime, since I spoke with you guys, I don't remember if I mentioned that my grandmother passed away. Um, she passed away, probably less than a month ago. I don't know why I can't remember the exact day. It was back in April or May, something like that. God, I can't remember. Anyway, I have been severely out of it. That was my last grandparent. Um, honestly, wasn't very close to her. I'm really not close with a lot of my family, honestly. Um, my closest family is my wife and my son. Um, that's really all I need. We've got some close friends that we have down near where we live. One of which is who let me borrow the garage and stuff. But I wanted to, man, I wanted to come at you guys, just let you know that I am okay. I know a couple of people have asked if I'm okay and stuff like that, and I am okay. I'm just trying to plod through. Um, it is CMA Fest weekend here in Nashville, and I've only worked tonight, which is Saturday, which is technically Sunday morning now, and Friday night. Did not work on Thursday. I had to replace a washing machine. The washing machine motor went out on my washing machine, so rather than spend $250 on a washing machine, or a motor rather, to fix an old washing machine, the same friend that I borrowed the garage was like, "Hey, look, I've got this high efficiency washer that I don't use. Why don't you just take it?" So I did that. So that night I ended up doing, instead of driving Went over to his house, loaded up the washing machine that he had, and then took it over to my house, got my old washing machine, put it in the back of his truck, and took it back to his place where we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but anyway. But now I actually have a fucking washing machine again. Anyway, CMA Fest week. Last year was insane. I'm pretty sure that last year we didn't have the option of going XL only, or XL or Select, or whatever you want to do. You know, you can choose all those things now. And I don't believe we had that capability last year. Last year, God. Sorry, folks. Had a ping, but I didn't want to take it. It's like 14 minutes away. Screw that. Anyway, what I wanted to say though is that last year the Stanley Cup Finals were co-occurring with the CMA Fest, and it was totally, absolutely insane. There were people all over the place. There were rides galore, etc. So this year, because Lyft and Uber and their infinite wisdom, they never send shit to us, okay? I'm sorry I'm going to cuss here because it pisses me off, and it pisses a lot of drivers off here. So Lyft and Uber regularly send, and I know this is a weird angle, guys. Sorry, I've got a new phone mount. My other one finally crapped out on me, so it's kind of an odd angle. Sorry, but they send out before these big events like the CMA Fest and awards and the Stanley Cup playoffs and all this stuff. They'll send out these bonuses, like diamond bonuses, or quests, or whatever you want to say, to out of town drivers. I literally saw texts that went in about diamond bonuses to people in Indianapolis, Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Atlanta, Louisville, any of the major cities are within probably, I don't know, a couple 100 miles or more in the case of Indianapolis, away from Nashville, for them to come here. And the thing with Lyft is you can just drive down here and just start driving, because that's what you can do on Lyft. On Uber, it's a little more complicated. You do have to go into the hub and, like, you know, get set up for this market and all that stuff. So it's a little bit harder on Uber. So as a result, I've actually done more on Uber than I have on Lyft. But this year has been pathetic because the market is so oversaturated with freaking out of town drivers from Memphis, primarily from Memphis, and probably rural areas of Tennessee. People coming in. I mean, I live in a rural area of Tennessee, but in my opinion, if you live more than 100 miles away, 100-mile radius away from Nashville, you're considered to be an out of towner. Memphis is roughly 200 miles from from Nashville. Knoxville's just about the same. Chattanooga's a little bit closer than that, but it's still past 100 miles. So all those people I consider to be out of market drivers. And the thing that pisses me off is people here in Nashville, at least some of us, try to take pride in the service that we provide for giving people rides, with good customer service, presentable vehicles, knowledgeable about venues and places to eat, and, you know, bars to go to and stuff like that, and navigation. I mean, Nashville's weird. Nashville's an odd city to drive in. It's very strange the way it's laid out. And if you have not driven here before, you're probably going to get lost a few times. In fact, I've seen Memphis drivers complaining about the fact that they get lost in Nashville sometimes because it's pretty spread out. It's actually technically slightly larger in area, I do believe, than Memphis, and the population's larger. There's more traffic here, and there's strange regulations, and it's just a weird place to drive. So if you come in from outside and have never driven in Nashville before, you're going to screw up a lot, and that reflects on drivers here in Nashville. So it kind of pisses me off that people do that. And you know, the ironic thing is that, for instance, I am on a Memphis Uber drivers group, and I saw on there a bunch of them came down to Nashville, and these people are either A, renting hotel rooms, B, renting Airbnb rooms, or C, sleeping in their freaking cars in the parking lots of the airports, etc. So, and okay, think about this. You sleep in your car, it's probably not going to smell very good in your car, especially with the humid, hot weather we have had these last few days. The humidity has been exceptionally high recently. Not exceptionally high. It's probably in the 60s dew point wise, which is uncomfortable. It's not the highest as it could be. It's been higher, but the temperatures have been in the 90s during the day. At night, I mean, right now my thermometer on my dash says 79 degrees. It's probably slightly cooler than that at this point. But you know, if you are sleeping in your car, you're probably going to smell like crap, and that's just gross. I've actually had passengers complain to me before about people who have look like they haven't been sleeping at all, or B, that they've been sleeping in their car and they had BO and stuff like that, and they don't know how to navigate the city. They get lost. They have no recommendations. They drive like maniacs. It's just a bad situation. Bad situation, in my opinion. It's screwed up. But back to my point. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. Memphis Uber drivers group. I am on there, and the ironic thing is, a bunch of them came down here to spend all this money on, number one, driving here, which is 200 miles is that's a 3/4 of a tank of gas for me roughly, but I don't get great gas mileage, so because I've got an SUV. But other people, it might not be that much. But you've also got to think about accommodations and meals. So you've got all that to contend with. Plus you have limits on both Uber and Lyft. 12 hours on Uber, 14 hours on Lyft, I believe, that you can drive continuously without taking a break before they cut you off. I just don't see how it's worth it for people to drive 200-300 miles to maybe make some money. And the thing is, the market was so oversaturated that the surges were almost non-existent. I can't really tell about prime time on Lyft, and I'm honestly getting a little tired of the crap with Lyft at times. I do like the heat map concept when it's not surging. When it's surging, it's ridiculous and it sucks. There were times right after the CMA, the big concert lets out at Nissan Stadium, where Uber was up in the threes, 3 times range. In fact, I got a 2.4 Uber XL not long after the concert ended, and I actually got a 3.1 Uber XL at 1.2. But on Lyft, I can't see that, and I've been getting these ridiculously small, paltry little bonuses like $2 and $4. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, but why the hell would I take a $2 or $4 bonus over a 2.5 to 3.1 Uber XL surge? There's no way. I'd be dumb to take that. So I really hope that it's a glitch, because one of my friends who drives, he's on the heat map system too, and he had some pretty high ones, like $11, $10 bonuses, which is really good if you can get a relatively short ride. And I had some good bonuses earlier in the night, but when it got to the surge after the CMA concert let out, I know it had to be in the 500s to 550% prime time range for those who were still on the prime times and not on the heat maps. And I'm just not going to sit there and take a $4 freaking bonus. So I turned Lyft off. So if they want me to take less rides, then they're succeeding. Not to mention, I hate the way the freaking Lyft app, if you touch anywhere on that freaking screen, you accept their ride. I have been going to turn off my Lyft app and accepted a ride so many times and had to cancel it. And of course it looks bad, and then they threaten to cut you off. They're way more crappy about that than Uber is. So I don't know. It's just really frustrating. Probably gonna get off of here because the airport surge should be starting. I started pretty late tonight, about 7 o'clock is when I got out. And I've already made over $250. I'm not complaining that I'm making a little bit of money, but back to the point of the invaders that we call them. We call them invaders. Um, Memphis, the drivers who stayed in Memphis have been experiencing some good surges. And they're actually like, hey, I'm actually making some money because half the freaking drivers in Memphis are in Nashville. And they're idiots because, like I said, they're idiots. So they're driving up here to an oversaturated market. It's not really that oversaturated normally, but when big events like this happen and everybody and their grandmother comes down here, drives down here, and just floods the market with drivers, then it turns out to be you're shooting yourself in your foot, in the foot, man. You know, you're driving 3 hours away to a strange city that you may not have ever driven in before, and then you are not getting the rides you expected you were going to get or the surges you were expecting you were going to get because there's so many other damn drivers from all over the freaking southeast region and maybe even further away, flooding the market, suppressing surge, suppressing prime time, and your home city, by the way. When you do that, everybody else who stayed behind, who was smart, is getting surges and prime time out the wazoo, and they wish that you'd stay up here. I don't wish you'd stay here. So if this continues, if this trend continues, then fuck staying here in Nashville. I'm sorry I'm dropping some F-bombs and stuff. I'm just a little pissed off about this. I'm going to drive to Memphis. You can fucking have CMA Fest because it's a piece of shit, hard to navigate anyway. So go the hell ahead. I know Memphis. I grew up there. I was born in Baptist Memorial Hospital, that was downtown, that has been torn down since. I was born and raised there, lived in North Mississippi, just on the outskirts of Memphis, regularly went to Memphis, know Memphis really well, all the neighborhoods, etc. I still know all that. I mean, I was raised there for over 20 years and even lived there again after I grew up. So, and drove everywhere, all around North Mississippi, all around, you know, all areas of Memphis. So I can drive there very easily, and I know where the hell I'm going. I might have to learn, you know, what new restaurants and bars and all that stuff, but that's not too hard to do. I have family that lives there. I can go stay with somebody probably for free. And, you know, if all the freaking Memphis drivers and all the freaking Knoxville drivers and everybody else is going to drive here for CMA Fest next year, then I'm going to drive to Memphis and take all their shit. So, go ahead. If you are in Memphis or any other area and don't give a shit about our city and just want to come here and crap all over everything and take all of our fucking fares, then go right ahead. I'm going to go to your city that used to be my city and take all your surges that you left behind because you came to an oversaturated market. Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you. Are you from Nashville? I think you are. I am not going to drive in Nashville anymore with people from all over the freaking place in town. They can't drive here. They don't know what they're doing. They'll slam on their brakes in the middle of the road to make a turn and all this stuff. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. So, yeah. So, like I said, I should have gone to Memphis. I should have read the writing on the wall when I started seeing all that stuff pouring in about people, about Lyft sending out these diamond bonuses up to $200 bonus for driving CMA. I should have read the writing on the wall and just either A, not driven, or B, went to Memphis and drove there. And in the meantime, while I'm driving to Memphis, I can actually go to my dad's house, get my vehicle completely squared away, and then drive down there and make a lot of money and then come back with money. So anyway, and visit family while I'm there. Like I said, all my family lives down there. So anyway, I digress. I've got to get out and see what's going on. So it looks like there's no surge yet, apparently. Huh, interesting. Sorry. So I'm going to get off of here and try to catch any of this airport surge, if there is any airport surge. So congratulations, all you out-of-town drivers. I hope it was worth it, because it probably wasn't. I can't see how you guys have justified it. I mean, I drive XL and Select and Plus, and I mean, I made over, 500 and something dollars, probably getting close to $600 at this point in 2 days. But people who drive regular Uber X and regular Lyft, there's no way that they're making that much. There's just no way. Um, and I just don't see how they can justify it. I don't understand it. Anyway, I'm sorry if you're watching and you are one of those invaders and you're offended. I'm sorry, but sorry, not sorry, actually. Because honestly, we just don't need a bunch of people from outside. I know it sounds selfish and it sounds like an asshole that I'm trying to be all territorial and all this crap. I just want to be able to drive in my own city where I live, where I pay taxes. I mean, I don't live in Nashville proper, but I do pay state taxes. I pay sales tax to upkeep all the roads here. These people who are coming in, they don't pay any property taxes. They don't pay any sales taxes. They don't pay. They do pay some taxes while they're here, I suppose. Hotel taxes if they have a hotel, and gas taxes and sales tax for the food they eat and stuff like that. But they're not here all the time. So anyway, it's just kind of a dick move, in my opinion, to drive all the way 3 hours away, and then so I hope it really wasn't worth it for them, and then maybe they won't come back. So anyway, I'm out, guys. Sorry for the long absence. I'm going to try to get back in the groove and make a Money Monday video. I will review all my earnings over the week, my impressions. I've had really good passengers. I haven't had any complaints, but I've only had like a total of 5 rides on Lyft today, 10 yesterday, so that's 15. I had, I think, 10 rides on Uber yesterday, so that's 25, plus another probably 10. So I've only done like 35 rides and made over $600. It's not too bad, and most of it's not surge, honestly. But I will review all that on Monday on my Money Monday video. Promise I'm going to get back in the groove. I promise I'm okay. Thank you everyone who showed concern about me not making videos. I just kind of got discouraged. I mean, I know, like I said, I never have derived much income from these videos. It just really kind of, sorry about that, guys. Just gonna leave it on this note. It really kind of pissed me off when YouTube demonetized everybody who didn't have the certain number of subscribers, certain number of views, and all that stuff. And it just kind of bothered me because I try to be a straightforward, kind of shoot straight kind of guy. And I see a lot of the other channels out there who are kind of, I mean, I'm not naming any names. I'm not going to name any names, but if all they do is review news articles that everybody can read for themselves a lot of the time. I did that for a little bit, and it turned out to be, to me, it was just kind of silly. I mean, it's like, people can read. Why do you have to read a news article to them? But anyway, current events and stuff like that are, I'm just going to let them do that, because I just don't see any value in providing that personally. So I'm out of here, guys. 4:30 a.m. Sunday morning, June the 10th. End of CMAs. CMAs go through tonight at midnight. I usually don't drive on Sundays, but I'm going to try to make a decision tomorrow if I'm going to drive or not. There's probably not going to be much of a surge for the airport this morning because people are not leaving CMA yet. They're probably leaving Monday morning. Even though the big Chris Stapleton, Keith Urban show was tonight, I think. But anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Please comment below. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content that I provide. I'm going to try to provide some better content. I'm going to try to brainstorm some ideas about things that I can talk about that I do like providing stuff about the local Nashville area. I feel like it's important. I feel like there's not a lot of drivers here in the Nashville area that want to make a YouTube video to talk about it. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm also going to, like I said, the Money Monday thing. I mean, hell, maybe I'm part of the problem. Maybe announcing how much I make every week is part of the problem of drawing people here. It could be. I mean, they see that, they're like, wow, he's making a lot of money doing Uber and Lyft there. Anyway, digress. Guys, peace out. If you're out driving, be safe, be careful, and make some money. I will talk to you soon. So I'm gonna try to get an installment of Money Monday out on Monday, if at all possible. But I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night.